Just answer the question. What? Okay, we're lost. Hello? Hello? Yo. Yo. Hello. Nothing about this. Like.
Wait, what? I figure out where to get him.
Yep. Yep. Yup. So tall. The only way.
Yeah, I like it.
Echo.
Can't just turn those mics on. Just turn.
How do I tell you? All right, so we're gonna pass the mic. So like when you speak it, just get the mic and say something. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeremiah Jett. I am the founder and host of Youthful Conversations. It is an award-winning podcast, and we are here today on episode 6, a part of our tour for Guilford County. We have been at 5 different schools. We've been at Andrews High School, Southwest High School, The Point, and Dudley. No, 4 schools. My bad. 4. So today, I am here to host a podcast with you all. I came here 2 weeks ago to get questions from you all, from students during lunchtime, free period, walking around the school, asking questions, see what you guys would like to talk about. So I have 10 topics with 2 questions each topic. This is an interactive discussion. So if you guys ever feel the urge to say something, ask a question, add input on a question, could you walk up to my mom? She has her hand raised. She'll give you a mic so that way you can add input and it will be heard on the live conversation. You don't have to be on camera, but we would like young people's input on all the questions, okay? Everybody good? All right, so we're gonna hop right into our first question. So our first topic is teenage relationships. What do you think young people are really searching for in relationships, and are we actually finding it? Anybody want to start?
I feel like young people, it's like, okay, so some young people are searching for like love, and then it's like a handful of people who are searching for more so the sexual part of the relationship, more so over like the love part of the relationship. That makes sense. And I get that we're in like high school and stuff, but just stay safe. Don't have someone talk you into doing anything that you don't want to do and stuff like that.
What do you think people are really looking for in a relationship?
So what I believe about it is that I feel like y'all looking for love, but y'all don't even love yourself yet. Y'all don't know yourself, but y'all trying to learn somebody else. So I don't. That's what I see and feel about it.
As Tyree was saying, I just feel like when you start off with self love, it goes from there, and then you're able to love any and everybody the way you should. And once you could like love yourself and like care about yourself and understand yourself before you get in a relationship with anybody, then everything will go smoother, and then you'll just find love the way you should.
Um, I think most people want loyalty, but most people not loyal.
I would say, in a relationship, at least now, it's a lot of hurt individuals looking for a relationship to fix their hurt. So like you'll get in a relationship or you'll go through a situation, you'll get hurt and you'll be like, all right, I need to get better. And you'll find somebody that shows you a version of love that makes you feel okay. But in reality, you're not really okay. It's just like a Band-Aid on the wound. And you still got that wound that's not healed, but you just like, I need something to cover it up. So I say we got to stop just finding anything that shines and glitter as love, but actually know what love is. And the way to find love and know what love is, I say go to God. That's what I say. So go to God, find out what love is, what real love is, and then go from there. Can we get a female perspective? Anybody? Oh, okay. It was like a bunch of dudes up here. So yeah.
So, from the female perspective, I'll say that when it comes to relationships, make sure that you know your boundaries and make sure that you understand what you want, and don't look for somebody that it's like only for that short period of time. If you want just like, like a 1 day person or something like that, you're better off being friends, because at the end of the day you're still going to get hurt by it. So just be careful and know what you're looking for in a person and respect that other person's boundaries.
All right. My next question in this topic is, how do relationships during high school shape how we see love, loyalty, and self-worth? How do relationships during high school shape how we see love, loyalty, and self-worth? How do relationships during high school shape how we see love, loyalty, and self-worth? They're gonna have to come up because they're not charged. They're gonna have to come up. Yeah. Could you guys come up to the front, please? In the middle. Well, not really like the front, but like the middle. Yo, come up here.
Come on. Talking to it.
Um, everybody don't have no loyalty, because like everybody, like not everybody, like some people here, they be in everybody's face and they be like friendly and stuff. So
Did you want to say something? Talk into the mic. Okay.
Can you reiterate the question?
How do relationships during high school shape how we see love, loyalty, and self-worth?
I honestly feel like for us, like especially in our generation, like statistically, we go through like a lot much more than other generations, especially mentally. Like, and I feel like in our generation, like a lot of us tend to look for like healing and love and stuff, but in high school and stuff, like it's really mostly like puppy love. I mean, I feel like you can be in a committed relationship, but it takes a lot to be committed at such a young age for so long. So it's like people like really have to realize you can't rush into something and you can't force a relationship that's not there. You really have to love somebody and you can't just go around saying you love everybody and their mama. Like that's
All right. So how I see relationship in high school affecting loyalty and self-worth is basically in high school, y'all be, I ain't gonna say y'all, but some of y'all individuals, y'all be putting y'all all in the people in high school. Like y'all not gonna live until y'all 100 or something. So y'all doing that is taking away from yourself. Y'all are putting so much into other people that y'all not leaving any more for yourself. And how that's gonna affect your self-worth is that you're not gonna be able to look at yourself the same. Since you've been bending like putting yourself into somebody else so much, when it comes down to you and your time, you're not going to be able to do that because you're not going to understand yourself or know yourself well enough.
For when it comes to relationships, sometimes people will base their moods and their personality and kind of just look for that credit from their partner. So make sure that you're confident in yourself and what you have to bring to the relationship before you even get to the relationship point. If you're not confident in yourself and you feel that you can't be yourself around the person, you shouldn't be with that person in general. But don't seek validation from other people because at the end, you're going to constantly keep seeking it and wanting to please people more. So make sure that you're confident in yourself and you believe in yourself and what you have to offer.
As we are in high school, we still are young. So we think we know the definition of love and how to love people, but at the same time, we're trying to figure out how to love others, but also love ourselves. So with these relationships in high school, as somebody said, we are pouring our alls into relationships and we have a lot to balance between if we want to be with somebody else or if you're an athlete, you got sports and you got schoolwork to do, balancing all that can be difficult. But at the same time, you have to understand that you are in high school, you have a whole life to live. Like, this isn't it. So if you have one bad relationship, that's not going to be like, oh, all my relationships going to be bad or, oh, everybody going to cheat on me. Like, that's going to tarnish your self-worth because that's what you're going to think from then on in the future. Like, you don't know what a good relationship is. So you have to start off with loving yourself and then you can be able to love other people.
I would say, as young people, we're like very adaptable to our situations and our surroundings. So as young people, we pick up on a lot of the little things that go on throughout our lives. So we'll pick up behaviors that our parents are doing, we'll pick up behaviors that our friends are doing, and we'll do it unconsciously. Like we'll just start picking up behaviors that we see because we see people that we look up to or that we surround ourselves with doing it. We're like, if they're able to do it, then maybe it's okay, right? So in a relationship, when you're in a relationship and you're talking to somebody or you're dating somebody or doing whatever, you'll start picking up a reaction to their actions. So like say somebody is cheating on you, right? You're going to start picking up trust issues because now it's like I can't trust nobody when I'm in a relationship because the last person I was with cheated on me, right? So in relationships at a young age, we pick up on a lot of trauma and we build up a lot of walls and we build up a lot of barriers to protect ourselves. And that stops us when we get into the next relationship because now we're going into a next relationship with a lot of walls built up. We're going into the next relationship with barriers built up to protect ourselves. But when you're in a relationship, you're supposed to be trying to get to know that person and build with somebody. But it's very hard to get to know and build somebody when you're closed off and you don't want to talk. So I would say just be careful of the traumas that you build up when you're in a young relationship because those traumas, if you don't pay attention to them, you'll start to carry those in your everyday life. And that is how you can affect future relationships. That's how you can affect future business opportunities. Like relationship problems and relationship traumas doesn't just stop in a relationship. They go through your whole life. So just watch out for the traumas, make sure you're protecting yourself, make sure you're doing the right thing so that way you'll be okay when and if you ever leave that relationship. But I'm gonna go into our next topic, music and entertainment trends. Do you think the entertainment industry is empowering youth or distracting us from real life?
So I would say I think they're distracting us from the bigger picture of reality because at the point where we are today in the world, not everything is what it seems, including music. So not all music is like music that's going to benefit you or like your ears. I mean, everybody listens to their own music, the R&B, the soul, the pop, the rock, and all that. But it could vary to different people and it could have a different effect on them. So it could make them act a certain way. And it just depends how the music that you listen to will benefit you in an everyday life because not all music is really helping the world, so to speak. It's kind of like dragging us down more. So I would just say the music that you do listen to, just make sure it's benefiting you in your everyday life and some that you could just vibe around with. It don't make you angry, don't put you in a bad mood. It just makes you happy. Just keep pushing to pursue what you should be pursuing instead of just falling down the same road everybody else is getting drugged down because of the music.
I'm gonna say social media do be messing with our minds, but if like let's say I got this phone right here, this phone already is messing my mind just because I got the phone. But like if I can use the phone in my advantage, like to like do stuff with it, like if I'm like using the phone to like make money with it, then like I'm benefiting from the phone. But like if I'm just like scoring on TikTok for hours and hours, I'm not doing nothing. Like I'm just like wasting my time scrolling to TikTok. But like if I was like shooting a music video with a phone and I'm editing it, and then now I gotta post a video, I'm doing something productive with the phone. I'm not just wasting time.
You want to say something? No? I would say the entertainment industry isn't empowering us. I would say it has heightened our sense of comparison. So through day-to-day life, we always compare ourselves to whatever. We compare ourselves as like one of our friends got better shoes than us, or they're driving a better car than us, or whatever. Like you already are comparing yourself just by seeing people you know, seeing people you talk to, or whoever. But now you can go on the internet and find somebody living your dream life to the perfect sense of whatever it is. So you may want to be extremely successful with lots of money, a big house, lots of cars, everything. You can go on the internet, find somebody living that exact life. And then now you're sitting there like, dang, how did he get that? I'll never be able to get that. Or you could also be like, if he did it, that means I know it's possible. That means I can do it. So I think it made us want to compare ourselves more because now we can go on the internet and find whatever we want to see. So you can find somebody with your dream body type. You can find somebody with your dream life. You can find somebody with your dream relationship, and you'll just start comparing yourself over and over again as you see more and more of that stuff on the internet. We good? Nobody want to say nothing? We good? I'm gonna do. I don't think it's on. Oh, uh, the question was, do you think the entertainment industry is empowering youth or distracting us from real life?
Our generation is that we have like such a good access to internet, like unlike other generations, and really it depends on what you use it for. I feel like people nowadays aren't really as educated as they need to be. Like they be using it for the wrong things, and like social media and stuff like that. Like as somebody across the world, I can't remember saying it, but like people compare themselves to people to it really does affect like people in our like day-to-day life. Like it affects our self image in a way where you feel like you're not good enough. And some people, yes, it does motivate them, but I feel like social media, the way it portrays things, like nothing is really 100% true. Like that you see, like when you're going on TikTok or Instagram or something, like you really just see like what people want their lives to be. You don't really see the real, and people like get that confused with real life, and it's really bad.
So the question was, do I think the internet is distracting us from real life? I'll say the internet is doing what you let it do. So the internet is just there. You are the one with the actual mind to think about what you're doing before you do it. So what you see on the internet is based off the person you are. Because I can get on the internet and see shootings and all that, but I know the type of person I am. I wouldn't go do that. So the internet is not empowering you. It's empowering you if you let it. That's how I see it.
To finish that off, I just feel like when we compare ourselves like virtually through a screen, we hold ourselves to like the bare minimum low standard that we shouldn't have. So it's like when you compare yourself, you should always compare yourself like to the highest standard that you could possibly do, because it's always gonna motivate you to keep going. And if you hold yourself to the bare minimum, you're probably not gonna progress in life the way you should.
Okay, I'm gonna go into our next topic. So I'm gonna skip a topic. I was gonna talk about friendships in high school, but I think relationships kind of covered that. So I would like to skip down to my next topic, which is dress code. Is it an expression or a restriction? All right, so my first question in this topic is, why do you think girls and boys are often held to different standards when it comes to what they wear?
Okay. So I think that girls are more restricted is because of what society deems appropriate for a girl. So if a girl dresses a certain type of way, then all of a sudden she's all of these derogatory terms. But if a guy were to dress with like lesser clothes, then it's seen as, oh yeah, that's fine for them. So when it comes to dress codes, I think that it restricts what the girl wears, so that way the guys, they say not to keep the guys distracted, but at the same time, why are they looking? So that's my perspective on it. But
Which mean like
as a guy, anything is seen, we live in a patriarchal society, so anything that the guy does is seen as, oh well, maybe he's just stressed or something like that. But as a girl, if you talk too loud or if you're too expressive, that's a problem. But if you're too quiet, that's also a problem. There's no true definition of how a girl is supposed to be, but there's also no true definition of what a male's supposed to be. Society makes it to where women are meant to be more to the side and not be heard. And so whenever it comes to dress codes, it's more of a restriction than an expression.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
Why do you think girls and boys are often held to different standards when it comes to what they wear?
Because one can have a kid and one cannot have a kid.
You said one can have it.
One can have a good. That was the good. So, hey, bro, because like everybody's giving good reasons, though. I'm not gonna lie. Everybody reasons is 100% accurate, like right or wrong.
Speak on the mic,
So,
bro.
nigga, I'm loud enough without the mic. I'm gonna be real. You know?
So what I have to say about that, I would say everybody expresses their self through their own fashion, but is females get restricted because some people in the world feel as if they express themselves too much, so they have to get dialed down and get set to like a limit of their expression. So it limits their personality and it limits their character. And when it limits their character, it makes them feel a certain way. And when it makes them feel a certain way, they become alone, they feel depressed. And then, so I just feel like we all should just enjoy and support everybody's fashion and everybody's personality through the fashion. It's my opinion.
So I think it is restricting, but at the same time, like people are able to express themselves, but we are in school, so that doesn't mean that, all your skin should be out because we aren't here for that. We're here to learn. But at the same time, express yourself how you want. Just be mindful. It is other people, and that's why they do say like girls should be covered up or whatever. Like no skin should be shown because the boys shouldn't be distracted. As I said, they shouldn't be looking. But at the same time, skin doesn't need to be out. We're inside, so you can cover that up. But we also are in a generation of there are a whole bunch of different styles. So everybody does have their own opinion on how they want to dress. Nobody is going to dress the exact same way, which is why I think they had the uniforms at a point and got rid of them because there is a freedom of speech and freedom of expression. And I think for the guys is more different because they're worried about the whole sagging situation, whereas girls, they're like, don't have a crop top on, like make sure shorts are long enough to touch your fingertips. So we have more rules than the guys where for the guys, they're just concerned about sagging, whereas a girl, they're going to look at your whole outfit and deem it as acceptable or unacceptable just based off the rules that society has.
I would say my answer to this question is a two-part question. Two-part answer. My first part is I would say protection. We live in a society where everything is happening so fast, where like it takes 5 seconds for something to happen and somebody's life has been changed forever. So firstly, I would say as for protection, especially for women and girls. When you think you have men who are out here, am I saying it is okay to put restrictions on women to where they can't wear what they want to wear? No. But am I saying that women should be able to wear what they want to wear while being protected? Yes. Because there are men out here who will take advantage of women who are wearing something, and that in their mind triggers like okay, this girl's looking for attention. I'm going to give it to her, which is crazy to say. But we got to do what we got to do to protect women. So we got to tell y'all that you can't wear certain stuff in certain places because we don't want y'all ended up in a situation where it's like, dang, now your life has changed forever because somebody touched you, right? So that was my first part. I would say protection. And then secondly, I think it should be universal. Like if it's a rule for one person, one size should be a rule for everybody. Like I understand that women have more to show off, but dudes who wear extremely tight, skinny jeans, it like irks my soul when I see it. I'm like, come on, yo. Your butt's out. You got your jeans so tight where your junk can't breathe. Like, that's not okay, bro. Like, I think it should be universal. Like, we shouldn't be able to show off our bodies to every single person. We should all have a sense of respect where we're like, I want to wear what I want to wear, but I also want to be respectful about it, right? So like women should be able to wear what they want to wear, but be respectful about it. And then men should be able to wear what they want to wear, but be respectful about it. So I would say, firstly, protection, and then secondly, it should be respect. Because some of these, I know for dudes, especially, some of these jeans y'all be wearing is not acceptable at all. Like that's criminal. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Because one of my friends do it. I'm like, yo, come on, bro. This is disgusting. My next question for this topic is your school dress code protecting students or policing identity?
So to answer this question, I feel like it's 50-50. Like, everybody is grown enough to know what they're doing, right? So I feel like the rules are in place, right? To protect the ones that are safe and know what they're doing. Because we have kids in here that do everything based off the first thought. They never think everything through. So I say they put it in there for protection, but there really shouldn't have to be no protection if the kids was raised right at home. So they'll know better what to do. That's how I see. That's my opinion.
I feel like the rules make them want to do it more.
For sure.
I feel like that the school dress code is protecting. It's more protecting because, like y'all said, we are in school, so it shouldn't be any reason why like any skin should be shown. We're inside. We're here to learn. We're not here to be distracting anybody and stuff like that. As far as the dudes go, like as far as the dress code goes, with like the hats and hoodies, I don't really see a problem with wearing hoodies in school. But like as far as like the sagging, showing your skin, you know, having your shorts all high and stuff, like that is like a like safety issue. So
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go on to our next topic. I'm gonna skip a topic. Well, I'm gonna skip two topics and then I'm gonna come back. So the topic I want to talk about right now is God, religion, and how youth view church. Okay, so my first question I'm gonna ask is, can you believe in God without belonging to a religion? And does that belief still guide your choices? I'll go first. I would say I would say you don't have to fully be in like a religious group. Like I believe in God wholeheartedly. I love God, but I don't call myself a Christian all the time because in the Bible it doesn't tell you to call yourself a Christian. It says follow after me, follow after God. It doesn't tell you be no Christian. So for me at least, I just follow God. I follow his commandments, I follow his laws, I follow the stuff he tells you to do. But when you join or when you call yourself a Christian, now there's a whole bunch of laws and rules and objectives that you got to achieve just to be considered a Christian. Like when you go to church, if you're not doing certain things, they're gonna be like, you're not no believer of God, you ain't no Christian. How you gonna tell me what I am? And then you got your own mess. So I think it's just like I don't believe in the full religion thing. I just believe in following God like he told you to do in the Bible. But that's just me.
Um, I just feel like everybody has their own God. So, it's like everybody don't have to have the same God to worship him. It's like other people's God is probably Buddha or Allah or Jesus Christ himself. But at the end of the day, as long as you praise who you praise and 100% fully faithful to whoever you praising and just respect that and respect somebody else's religion or whatever they doing, then I feel like being in a religious group shouldn't really matter as long as you praising a God.
Okay. Um, I don't think everybody got their own God. I think there's only one God to follow, and that's Jesus Christ. And I feel like if like who you are as a person, you shouldn't like know not to do evil. Like, yeah, in the Bible, we got all these laws and all these things to do to follow Christ. But like, if you really see it, it's only one law. Like the one law is to love your neighbor. Like that's the only law he said do. Like that's the only one. Cause like, look, if you think about it, if you love your neighbor, you will not steal from your neighbor. If you love your neighbor, you will not kill your neighbor. You feel me? It's like the only commandment he said do is love. So like show love to your neighbor and you'll be fine.
Okay then. Okay then. You guys good down here? Okay. I'm gonna ask the second question to this topic. Why do you think so many young people are walking away from church? Is it a lack of faith or a lack of connection?
So for this question, it is a lack of connection, and I kind of blame the older generations that are in the church, because they have such a way of doing things. Our generation is not like that. Like we have a different way of learning and a different way of connecting, and you see it a lot, like with these youth groups and stuff like that. They have their own thing away from the older generations in the church. The older generations are so strict on their rules that now is causing younger ones to want to leave because they feel like they can't pray to their God how they want to and worship him how they want to because they feel restricted on how the older generation wants to do things.
I feel that younger generation does not know how to actually connect with God. And I think that's where the connection, I think that's where, like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? The disconnection, yeah. I don't think they know how to connect with God because, like, some people do the Bible study. They have like their notepad. They write stuff down. Some people just read straight in the Bible. Some people note stuff in the Bible. Some people listen to podcasts about the Bible. It's so many different ways that you could connect with God. But I feel like the younger generation doesn't know exactly which way fits them the best.
And to go back to what both of them were saying, I feel like the older generation has forced their ways of God on us to where we cannot form a real connection because in the elders, they say respect your elders, but if you wanted to praise God a different way that's was different from them, then it was looked down upon versus uplifted. And so religion now it seems more forced, like you have to praise him this way, you have to do this, you have to do that. But if you want your own connection with God, you have to do what's right for you and not base it off other people.
I would say in general, not just young people. I believe a lot of people have church hurt. Like, we'll go to a church, we'll involve ourselves with a church, and then some situation pops off in the church, and we're like, I'm never going to church again. Because how do they call themselves Christians or believer of God, and they treat me like this? And I say it's a lack of connection because it's hard to connect with people who are constantly judging you and making you look bad or feel bad just because you don't fit their ideals of following God. And that's why I personally don't go to church in person. I attend a church all the way in Alabama with Pastor Mike. I do digital church. My mom calls it a bedside Baptist. I'll tap into that every Sunday, but I just will not go to church in person. I don't like I've gone to churches in North Carolina. I don't like them, so I'll just go to my church online. So I think a lot of us have a church hurt, and it's just like, why go to church and I'm gonna be judged? Nobody wants to go to some place on purpose. They waste their time, they waste their gas, waste their time. Time is the most valuable thing we have. So I'm gonna waste my time to go to some place to be judged by a bunch of people who also have their own mess. That don't make sense to me.
I'm gonna say most young people lacks on beliefs. So most young people, like, they wait until like they need help, then they're gonna ask for God. Like, let's say like you in trouble, and like you did something bad, and you got home, and your mama was like, I'm gonna whoop your butt when you get home. You like, oh God, please help me. Like, you feel me? Like, that's when you need God. Like, y'all need God when y'all need help, and that's the case. Like, y'all actually need God every single time. He's the reason why you're breathing. Like, so y'all should need him every single time. But like, most people need him every single time when y'all need help. So yeah.
I just feel like the lack of connection comes from the unanswered prayers, so to speak. Like, I have this one friend, when his uncle had passed, he ain't cried since then. And so he ain't cried in 13 years. And one day we were sitting on the porch and he was real quiet. I was talking to him. I started praying to God. He just broke down. He's just like, I didn't think God was real. I always would pray to him, but he never answered my prayers. I said, the prayers are always going to get answered. It takes time. God hear your prayers. He'll answer when he needs to answer them. He's not going to always answer your prayers right away. Of course, it always takes time. It takes time for God to receive your prayer. He understands what you're going through. He watches what you're going through every day. He's going through it with you. So it's just like, when you feel like he's not answering your prayers, just be patient and never ask him why. Because when you ask him why, it's no point of asking for a prayer. It's no point of praying to him if you're going to ask him why.
I would like to quickly follow up on that and then get into our next topic because we're getting short on time. 10 minutes. Okay. So I would like to say what helped me get over the lack of connection with God is when my mom told me that God's timing is perfect. It may not be when you want it to happen, but it will be when you need it. So God will give you what you need when you need it, not exactly when you want it. So just keep that in mind. Our next topic is the term ghetto and modern racial discrimination. Okay. When people call something or someone ghetto, what are they really saying and why does it matter?
Did somebody say uh-oh? So to me, the term ghetto is like what I was saying. So like, all right, so how I'm gonna put it like blunt and bold. All right, so the definition of ghetto to me is like somebody that does stuff out of proportion and handled it in a wrong way. So like if somebody is talking about you, right, and you go confront them, I can go confront you like this. But if I'm yelling down the hall, letting it be known, that's ghetto. Because you're doing too much.
No, like
So
basically what he's saying is dragging the situation too much.
yes, that's literally ghetto. That's the definition. So and how it's used in modern day time, I don't even hear it no more. But when I do hear it, I know it's 100% right. So I hear the word ghetto. I hear the word ghetto and Dudley. I hear it too much. I'm sorry, y'all, but I'll be hearing it. So and I only hear it from like the older, teachers. The older teachers,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, I am. Yeah.
So I say that because the younger generation, we handle stuff wrong. We go about everything wrong. So like when we have problems and stuff, we express it too much. So when we express it too much, it turns into the violence, and violence is nothing but ghetto. So that's how I see ghetto.
Violence. Nah,
Okay. I think we covered that in like one answer. So I'm gonna just go back to another topic because we got Tom. Peer pressure and making tough choices. Do you think peer pressure today is louder because of social media?
Yes.
Okay. If your answer is yes, why?
Go ahead. Preach.
Oh man. Okay.
Do you think peer pressure today is louder because of social media?
No, hold on. Come here. Hey, come here. Come here. Hold on. Who said no? Who was that?
We locked in up here. Can you get this mic?
No cap. He ain't doing it. Man, how you gonna say no?
Pass the mic back to him. Pass the mic back so he don't have to come up. Could you come? No, I don't know if that one's gonna work.
Mic check, Ms. Brown. No, it's not working because they touched me.
Yeah, it's not. Here, take this one.
I got it.
Here, pass that. Yeah. We're just gonna share that one.
I bet.
Is peer pressure louder
Oh, yeah.
social media?
I don't want to go up there.
And you say yeah.
What was the question?
Repeat the question.
Yeah, repeat your
Do
question.
you think peer pressure today is louder because of social media? Why or why not?
See me, I don't think it is because honestly, you got a human brain of your own and you know right from wrong. If you see something on social media, you can make the choice not to do it. If you still decide to go do something you seen on social media after you seen what done happened to this person, the consequences to his action and everything that done happened after he did what he did, and you still go do it, that's your fault.
Hey, he clocking that. Okay, hey, he clocking that. He clocking. Hey, yo.
All right, after you.
Okay. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. You did your big one with that one. I ain't gonna lie. Um, but I must say it's like he got a point with that too. But like most of us look up to like these big celebrities, like Beyonce. You know, like these big names. Sometimes like we will buy stuff just cause you see them got it on. Like I don't know. Like I see like my friends. Like some of them like they will get stuff just cause a celebrity got it on. Like I ain't throwing shit at Jemiah, but he right next to me. But you feel me? Like they will get something just cause somebody else got it. You feel me? But yeah.
Um, I think that social media it does make an impact because people the comparison is real, and also people have to realize that with social media they're going to show you what they want you to see. So if you are saying like, oh well, they have this and well and I don't have it, yada yada yada, at the end of the day that person could look like that they have the best life in the world and be the loneliest person. And so you have to be confident in yourself, because if you continue to try to compare to other people and what they have and what you don't, you will never find happiness. You have to be happy within yourself and happy with what you have to offer.
Okay. All right. So I have truly enjoyed the podcast today. We have had fun. We've laughed. We've made jokes, and you guys interacted. I really appreciate you all. We got one more question. So before I end it, we're going to get the question, and then I'm going to go into. Oh, one more question. Politics. Okay. All right. So we got time for one more question. So the topic this is going to come from is Trump, Project 2025, and youth political power.
Yes.
If you could sit across from a political leader today, what would you want them to understand about our generation? I don't have a.
So
You want to talk about Trump?
Yeah, the Trump one.
Oh, okay.
let's talk about that one. Let's talk
Okay.
about that.
If you had to sit across
If you had to sit across from President Trump today, what is something you would want him to understand about our generation?
So if I was sitting across from Trump right now, the first thing I say to him, you're crazy. That's not really what I'll say, but that's how I'm gonna say it because we got adults in the room. So for one, what I'll try to explain to him, our generation, we cannot be controlled. We make our own decisions, and that's why we make our decisions out of impulse, for one, and then we make our own decision. The generation we got now, you can't control our generation. Because for one, we know what we want to do. We got a whole bunch of young leaders right now as it is. So Trump, what he's trying to do is keep everybody in line or like entitled. When I say entitled, he's trying to keep everybody within his reach where he can control us. So what I'll try to explain to him is that we cannot be controlled. You feel me? It's a different. We're bigger than what he thinks it is. So that's what I will let him know or try to get him to see. Go ahead.
To pick up off that a little bit, I would say Trump is slowly trying to bring us back into slavery, so to speak. So Project 2025 is probably his biggest upset. So it messed up a lot of people that's finna go to college and trying to get financial aid and things of that nature. So it's kind of hard for us right now because of what Trump has already did with the Project 2025 and all the restrictions he's done gave us and everything. So I mean, I would just say Trump, count your days.
I would say if I had a conversation with him right now, I would say he needs to do a better job at communicating with the people in the country and not making assumptions based off statistics. Because I guarantee he's probably just looking at a bunch of statistics on a bunch of different people and making his assumptions about us. I would say he need to go into the communities. If he's the president of the United States, I know it probably take a while, but I think with the 2 years he got left, 4 years, he needs to go and talk to his people in the country and then make a sound decision based off of that. instead of just assumptions of statistics on us that aren't really accurate.
If I had to sit across from President Trump, I would ask him, where is your compassion for the American people? Because he talks about how, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, but yet it continues to hurt the American people that he claims to be fighting for and that he claims to love. And so I would ask him, where's your compassion for the people that not only voted for you, but also the ones that didn't? Because if you have this anger built up towards them, you're not acting like a true leader. So I would ask, where's his compassion? And I also ask, why do you continuously contradict yourself? Because he talks about equality, but he doesn't mean it. Or he talks about, oh, we're going to help make America great again. But was it really great to begin with? So, yeah.
If I was to sit across from Trump, I would ask him, like, what is his purpose for doing anything? Because based on what I've seen and what he's done, he hasn't done anything correct yet. Nothing has been correct. Like when he paused the financial aid, with me being like a senior going to college, pausing the financial aid, that was like the most dumbest thing, especially if people cannot pay for like financial aid. Because I know my family can't just take out $40K just like that and pay for college. So taking out the financial aid and stuff like that, that was just like dang, like
Yeah, go based off what he said. What's his true reason for anything? Like, as soon as he got in office, he just started signing papers. So I don't even know if he read the papers, but he was just signing. And I think at this point, I don't know if he just wants to feel like he has power, because with the tariffs and stuff like that, like he's just going back and forth with the other countries trying to get on top. And he's not looking at it on how it truly affects people with these prices rising. Like, people were already struggling to get houses, but now the average cost of a house is so much more to where people are wondering, do I need to rent or buy a house? Because at that point, rent and the mortgage for a house in some states is about the same. And people at this point, $14 for a carton of eggs is crazy. So it's like, if you look back, and he blames it on other presidents for their plans are now coming into effect and the taxes are going up and prices are going up. But if you look at it, the prices were best with other presidents. So now things are going up and people can't afford their lifestyle that they really want. And you have people working 2 full-time jobs and have kids struggling to get them to school, struggling to keep food on the table, struggling to keep clothes on their backs, just because he wants to be in competition with all these other countries and show up on top.
All right. So that is all the time I have today. Again, I want to thank you all for being in the audience. You guys were an amazing audience. Could we give y'all selves a round of applause? And then, secondly, can we give our panelists a round of applause? They did amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna promote myself a little bit. If you would like to see the full length podcast, you can go on YouTube at Useful Conversations. That's where you can find the full length podcast. And then if you would like to find clips of the podcast, I post clips on my Instagram at JeremiahJet_. I will try to follow as many people back as possible, but I will do my best. We do have cookies for everybody in the room. So if you all could line up over there, we do have cookies. And we will be trying, before everybody gets up and goes to the cookies, I know that's very exciting. Could everybody?
Yo. There you go.
Okay, so I know everybody's excited about the cookies, but we are going to try to do an episode 2 and come back. So I'm gonna work with Ms. Brown and try to come back and do another episode. I think this was amazing. But again, my YouTube for the full length podcast is Useful Conversations, and then I post clips on Instagram at JeremiahJet_. Thank you all again for being here. I had an amazing time, and I'm looking forward to hosting an episode 2.